Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me for another edition of Wrestling Talks and Thoughts. I'm your host, Saheem the Dream. If you guys are catching us live on Facebook Live, please give us a thumbs up. Also, if you are catching us live on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. Drop a comment in the comment section below. And we are going to talk wrestling tonight. We are going to talk about Monday Night Raw. And before I get into this conversation, I have a special guest that's going to be joining me today. His name is Andrew Lodakata. Hopefully I pronounced his name correctly. Hey, Andrew, this is my special guest, Andrew. How you doing today, Andrew?
Good. My name is actually Andrew Loduca, like the baseball player.
Loduca. Okay, Andrew Loduca. Yes, sorry, sir. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
And today we're going to talk a little bit about some wrestling. So again, guys, if you guys are joining us, please give us a share, hit that like button, hit the comment section below. And we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw and also some news and rumors, some things surrounding wrestling and what's going on in wrestling. All right, Sean Keys is in the house. Sean Keys, what's up, man? Thank you for joining us. Again, if you guys are joining us, you could drop a comment in the comment section below, say what's up, so we could talk some wrestling. So Andrew, did you watch Monday Night Raw?
Yes.
Okay. And
I cannot believe that they're actually giving Seth Rollins an Elimination Chamber opportunity after his whooping butt match at Royal Rumble.
Yeah. I definitely seen them going for that angle with
They gave
Seth
him the
Rollins.
spot without any action or fighting in the match.
Yeah, I mean they were going to give it to him anyway. You seen the pushes that they've been giving Seth Rollins for the most part for Monday Night Raw, especially with him fighting Bobby Lashley. I'm sorry, not him fighting Bobby Lashley. He had a match with Bobby Lashley? Okay, but him fighting Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
Him fighting Bobby Lashley. Him fighting Roman Reigns. He's gotten a lot of title pushes as far as being pushed in the main event for the most part.
I just saw a picture online, and this is breaking news, that Jon Moxley is now facing Brian Kendrick tomorrow night.
In AEW?
Yeah.
I thought Brian Kendrick was still signed with WWE.
He got released.
Oh, he's part of the release?
He got released like today, and he said that it's official in his AEW debut. Brian Kendrick will face the toughest test tomorrow night on AEW Dynamite Live, Jon Moxley.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. So Brian Kendrick is moving very fast, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what do you think about what's her name? Ronda Rousey's return. Are you excited for it or?
I loved it. I was at MetLife Stadium Part 2, and I saw the match Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair. And I watched it.
Okay.
And it was awesome.
Okay. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of Ronda Rousey. I think her promo work is horrible. I think
it could have been better, just to be saying that. The match was awesome, but they should have gave the return to someone else, like AJ Lee, like CM Punk's wife.
Yeah. But I don't think AJ Lee's coming back anytime soon. AJ Lee is I think she's going to hang up her boots. I think she's done. I think she's not trying to come back to WWE at all. Yeah. I think she's pretty much kind of done with the whole wrestling thing at all. I mean, altogether. They even want her. There was some talks about people, speculating her coming back to, um, well, coming back to wrestling, but coming back as far as wrestling with CM Punk and AEW. And there's been no word as far as if she would come back at all. Like, there's been nothing. And I don't think CM Punk wants her to come back. I think CM Punk. I think she don't want to come back. I think she feels like she's fine where she's at.
I think she said to CM Punk, "You go fight. I'm gonna stay here and protect the baby."
Okay.
That's me thing.
Okay. They had a child.
I think so.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I think on I have no idea, but I think there's a picture of AJ Lee and and CM Punk in their house having a baby.
Oh, okay. So there's a picture
Yeah,
of them and a child together.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let me check that up. Let's see if they have any kids. But so Monday Night Raw. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw. So, um, unfortunately, I wasn't able to catch up on Monday Night Raw, but I did hear the review of Monday Night Raw. I was trying to catch up on it. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to. Had a lot of things I had to catch up on. A lot of business to attend to. But I did get to catch some clips. I seen that Brock Lesnar came in. He challenged Bobby Lashley for the WWE title. Did they fight on Raw?
No, he was about to, but he called Bobby Lashley a chicken shit, and
Mhm.
and then MVP backed him up, and then Adam Pearce announced that Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar will be facing inside the Elimination Chamber with five stars, five superstars.
Oh, okay. So they're
Yeah,
gonna fight in Elimination Chamber. Okay, interesting. All right. So who do you think is gonna come out the victor in that match?
Seth Rollins.
Seth, Seth
Because
Rollins.
I'm going to tell you right now,
Okay.
in the middle of the match, this is going to happen.
Hmm.
Roman Reigns is going to come out under the steel plates like Shawn Michaels did, and hit him with that title and screw Bobby and uh, and Brock Lesnar again, and he's going to win.
You know what? That doesn't sound far fetched.
Because
Because
remember
yeah.
the scene that remember a long time ago of the W Elimination Chamber matches that
Mhm.
um, Shawn Michaels came out during when Undertaker uh, had the match with the Rey Mysterio,
Right.
and Undertaker Shawn Michaels screwed Undertaker over.
Hmm.
This is going to happen at Elimination Chamber. This is my prediction.
Quite possibly. Quite possibly. I don't see it not happening, especially with Roman Reigns now trolling Brock Lesnar. Um, okay, who do you think is going to win in their match?
If it was me, I would say Roman.
So you think Roman's going to go over on Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania?
Yes, because Paul Heyman screwed him over.
So you think Paul Heyman? Okay, so do you think that Paul Heyman is going to be the one that's going to screw Roman Reigns over at WrestleMania?
I think so. Because they're going to have a back to back screw over. I think it's going to happen.
Yeah, very interesting. I was actually that was an interesting swerve. I didn't see that coming, but did Brock Lesnar even address it on Monday Night Raw?
No,
So he left it as it was. So I think Brock Lesnar may be showing up at SmackDown. I think he's going to be on SmackDown this Friday.
he's going to be at SmackDown with Ronda Rousey.
Is he scheduled to be there?
Yes, and I think uh, Becky Lynch might come out also because they had the on Raw that
Mhm.
she said Ronda Rousey says you'll get my answer, and it ends with the BX the BS thing, and
Mhm.
she says I'll see you on SmackDown with Charlotte Flair.
Okay, so what was the main event for Monday Night Raw? What
It
match was
was Ronda Rousey talking, and then after that happens, Ronda Rousey left.
it? Hmm.
And then Lita came out with Becky Lynch there
Hmm.
and announced that Lita versus Becky Lynch is going to be fighting at Elimination Chamber.
So they having a women's elimination chamber match as well.
I don't know, but I think it's just gonna be a one-on-one match with
Mhm.
Lita versus Becky Lynch.
That's gonna go nowhere. Is it for the title?
Yes.
That's going nowhere.
No,
Yeah,
but I don't think she's gonna win.
yeah, she's
Lita.
not gonna win. That's just a preliminary match, another exhibition for Becky
Yeah.
Lynch. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's nothing special in that one. But it's just an interesting matchup just to see. I guess it would be considered somewhat of a dream match to have Becky Lynch wrestling against Lita. So because it's like past meets the present, that kind of situation.
Yeah.
Um, so what else happened on Raw? Did anything else interesting happen on Raw?
I don't. I missed half of it, the
Mhm.
beginning of the show, because I went out to dinner with my parents,
Right.
and then I think the only awesome thing happened that uh, our Matt Riddle beat
Mhm.
Otis and qualified for the Elimination Chamber with an out of nowhere moment.
Okay.
He he did a star flick pain on Otis in the middle of the air and and pinned him 1, 2, 3.
Starship Pain.
Yeah,
Oh, he did Starship Pain.
yeah,
Shout out
yeah,
to Johnny Morrison,
yeah.
Starship Pain. So let's talk the Royal Rumble. So there was this rumor going around. Well, I was listening to some wrestling news and Wrestle Talk. If you guys are not familiar with Wrestle Talk on YouTube, you guys can check them out. They're awesome, awesome, awesome. Wrestling news channel. They cover a lot of WWE news, AEW, Impact. They cover everything. I love them. They have a lot of great material. I check them out whenever I need to catch up on some wrestling or just want to know some news and rumors, some things like that. And just, but long story short, um, so there was some reports that at the Royal Rumble that they had at least 20 different plans on how they were going to end the Royal Rumble. And it got so congested that they could not land on a plan. Like they had one plan, then they scrapped it. They had another plan, they scrapped it. Another plan, they scrapped it. Another plan, they scrapped it. And the original plan, right, was to have Matt Riddle win the Royal Rumble. That was their original plan. But they decided to go with Brock Lesnar. They decided to go with Brock Lesnar. I don't know why. They decided to go with Brock Lesnar. So they said, all right, we got Matt Riddle, fan favorite. He's scheduled to win. And what they said was originally the plans was for Matt Riddle and Randy Orton to face off at last year's SummerSlam, but they scrapped the plans. They wanted to hold off for it. And they said, okay, we're going to have them fight at WrestleMania, but it should be for a title. And they decided, okay, we're going to do it here at the Royal Rumble, have Matt Riddle go over as the Royal Rumble winner and somehow book Randy Orton in between that, situation. But they decided they were going to scrap that. They're going to hold off for Matt Riddle and Randy Orton. They're probably going to do it at this year's WrestleMania. Or I'm sorry, next year's WrestleMania, or they may do it at this year's SummerSlam, which I think they're going to do. I think they're going to do a Matt Riddle versus Randy Orton at SummerSlam because they want something big for SummerSlam. Because SummerSlam is like a second WrestleMania. It's one of their biggest shows too. So that was the rumor mill. That was what's going on around in the rumor mill concerning the Royal Rumble, which I thought was very interesting. So how would you have liked to see that? I mean, would you be interested in that kind of match? Randy Orton versus Matt Riddle.
Yes, I would like to see Randy Orton versus Matt Riddle,
Mhm.
but I would like to see Matt Riddle use Randy Orton's finishing move and
Yeah.
Randy Orton use Matt Riddle's finishing move.
Yeah. You know what? It's interesting you mentioned that because them I think them holding off. One thing I noticed, well, before I go into that, one thing I noticed about a lot of wrestlers is that some of the best matches you'll ever get is from competitors who were usually tag team partners. Um, Usually, I mean, usually tag team partners or were friends. Sammy G says, "Did y'all watch Randy Orton interview with Ariel?" No, I didn't get to catch that. Was that on SmackDown, Sammy? Sammy G says on BT Sport. No, I didn't get to catch that, but I'm going to check it out, Sammy. Definitely check it out. Definitely because you mentioned it. Um, but I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check out his interview. If there's anything interesting that happened on that interview, during the interview, please drop it in the comment section below. I would like to talk about it and explore whatever happened. If something interesting happened, I would like to know what that was about. Because definitely bringing it up because something good probably happened in that interview or something great was said. But yeah, most tag team partners usually have the best chemistry in the ring, especially when they're battling each other, and that's why you look at Shawn Michaels and Triple H, or people who appear with each other, has some kind of history. Shawn Michaels and Triple H, um, or people who are friends backstage as well, like Dolph Ziggler and The Miz. I can name a few, but also I think Randy Orton and Matt Riddle is going to put on a classic match once they eventually meet in the ring. D Star dropped a comment. He said, "No disrespect, but Riddle shouldn't be in the same ring with the Legend Killer Randy Orton." Why do you say that, D Star? Why do you say he should not be in the same ring? Now, understand that Randy Orton is a legend himself, and that he has a great legacy that he's built for himself as a wrestler. But Matt Riddle is that new up and coming star, and we need new stars. We need someone new. Now I understand. Like I'm a Randy Orton fan. Like my favorites as far as the modern day wrestlers after Triple H, The Rock, and Austin, um, and Hogan. Like my favorites after those guys as far as modern day is Randy Orton, um, Roman Reigns, Bobby Lashley. Who else? AJ Styles and Matt Riddle. I'm sorry, Dolph Ziggler and Finn Balor. I have some others, but uh, Chanel says agreed. I don't want to see them wrestle against each other. I don't. What is it? What is this? What is? You want to see them wrestle against each other? Uh, would you? So Andrew, let me ask you, Andrew, are you opposed to? Are you opposed to RK Bro wrestling against each other?
If it was me, and it would come down the middle, if some way that they screw up in a match and Randy Orton just wants to have a match,
Mm-hmm.
he would just announce on Raw that uh, I would like to have a match with you.
Mm-hmm.
But if it was me, I think it could have been planned better. Like they should have a stipulation to the
Mm-hmm.
match. Like if Riddle beats Randy Orton,
Mm-hmm.
uh, they stick to RK Bro.
Mm-hmm.
If Randy Orton beats Matt Riddle, they quit and retire RK Bro.
Hmm.
That's
Interesting.
that would be my stipulation to the match.
That'll be a stipulation to the match. Okay.
Yeah,
Have them. Okay. Interesting. Um.
because I like
Uh.
RK Bro.
Yeah. I mean, I love them too. Like, I think that they are the best thing that Raw has. One of the best things I should say that Raw has working right now is RK Bro. One of the best things they have. D Star says, I say that because Randy shouldn't be doing spelling competitions and scooter riding. He should be in the main event picture for me. No, absolutely, D Star. Yeah, Matt Riddle. I'm sorry, Randy Orton should not be subjugated to uh silly angles such as spelling bees, um, and just all this wacky stuff. Like, but again, that is poor booking, poor writing. It's what they have available because Vince McMahon is too afraid to take chances on other superstars, and because of that, and book decent feuds and decent matches, and because of that, we are being um subject to the same superstars doing silly things, doing the same things, having the same matches, and not really getting anything different. So but yeah, I definitely agree. He should definitely be in the main event picture. But Vince McMahon uses Randy Orton as a wild card now. He's already established the guy has 14 world title reigns under his belt. One more title reign, and he will tie with one more title reign, and I think he would tie with Cena. One more title reign, he ties with Cena,
I
I
can't believe
believe.
that Roman
Yeah.
Reigns beat CM Punk's title reign.
Oh, you mean like yeah, so Roman Reigns has now the longest modern day title reign. So actually I believe Brock Lesnar broke CM Punk's modern day title reign. I believe it was. Yeah, I believe Brock Lesnar did it with the Universal title.
Yeah, I'm actually liking uh, Vince McMahon's new protege,
Mhm.
Austin Theory, because
Yeah.
he's actually from the way.
Yeah. I like him too. I like Austin Theory. Austin Theory too. Austin Theory as well has a lot of personality. He was definitely developed under Johnny Gargano. Um, I remember Jay McMahon. He was telling me there was some rumors going around that that Austin Theory was primed to be like the next John Cena.
It, I heard a theory that at WrestleMania this year, it's gonna be Austin Theory versus Shane McMahon.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for bringing that up, Andrew. I
I think that would be a great match to watch.
thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, I think it would be. We all know that Shane McMahon is okay. So here's the thing, right? So Shane McMahon has been getting a lot of heat backstage because Shane McMahon was booking him. There was a lot of issues going on with Shane McMahon, and Shane McMahon did a lot of booking for the Royal Rumble, and he was part of the group of people who were booking the match. Was booking the Royal Rumble match, and Shane McMahon was trying to book himself as the final four people in the ring, and a lot of superstars backstage was frustrated with the fact that Shane McMahon would book himself, so as to be someone so last in a match when it's like you're not even a wrestler. Like why would you book yourself to be the final four, and you should grant that opportunity to someone else. And there was a lot of issues with Shane McMahon and his booking decisions that a lot of wrestlers were frustrated about. Also, part of that whole booking is Matt Riddle versus Shane McMahon. So we're getting a Shane McMahon versus I'm sorry, not Matt Riddle, Austin Theory. So we're getting an Austin Theory versus Shane McMahon at WrestleMania because of Shane's booking. Um, do I want to see Shane McMahon versus Austin Theory at WrestleMania? No. Uh, I would have wanted it if the opportunities were spread it out was spread out or sorry how should I say were distributed a lot fairly. So if they had opportunities that was given to wrestlers like a Cesaro, like a Finn Balor, you know what I'm saying, like a Miz, wrestlers who come in, day out, give us great matches, Kevin Owens, and really give them high spots. And then we had like a cool match or like a nice little different match to have Shane McMahon go against Austin Theory. That would have been cool because that would have been something different out of all the great matches that we would have had booked. But to have, one of the high points of WrestleMania be Shane McMahon versus Austin Theory, it shows the quality and booking that they have right now, and that's not great.
You know, I this is me thinking. I
Mhm.
wish at WrestleMania this year they would have a rematch from last year of Shane McMahon versus Undertaker, part two. That's all I want to
Part
say.
part two.
Yeah,
You want another Shane versus you know what, that match was actually pretty good. It was a good match. It was.
I would like to see another match. Because
Mhm.
remember when Undertaker says the only way you'll get me to come back to the ring if you treat me or you not you give me a little ultimatum or a fight or
Mhm.
something that you call me out
Mhm.
and challenge me to a match. That's the
Right.
only way you get Undertaker to come back.
Well, you seen what happened when John Cena called him out, right?
Yeah.
That match ended with like 10 minutes, like a
that
10-minute match. That
was
was
like a
like the
2 minute
shortest.
match.
How long?
A 2-minute match.
It's like a 2-minute match, man. That match lasted at least probably. I mean, like, yeah, it was it was the shortest Undertaker WrestleMania match ever. John Cena, he kept calling out the Undertaker, doing a little dead man eyes. And it's crazy because, this is John Cena, who is, supposed to be like, the Superman of WWE at the time. And a lot of fans wanted that match. A lot of fans were like, they said a lot of fans were really pissed because they expected more out of the match. They actually wanted a serious match between Undertaker and John Cena. They didn't want a match that was, so short. They didn't want, a squash match. They didn't want John Cena to be squashed the way he did. They expected more out of that match, and they didn't get that. So I think at this year's WrestleMania, if anybody calls out Undertaker, I think we're going to get a squash match. And he's older too, so he can't really move like he used to.
I think an Undertaker versus Cena will get a rematch at next year's WrestleMania in Hollywood.
You think so?
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's John Cena's final WrestleMania.
So is that supposed to be John Cena? So is John Cena supposed to come back at next year's WrestleMania?
Isn't me thinking that next year's WrestleMania in Hollywood, Florida, Hollywood, California, is going to be John Cena's final match. And he said he's retiring to go back with Batista and The Rock to movie careers.
Right. So, yeah, I definitely heard about John Cena wanting to focus more on his movie career. Sammy G says, do you think Undertaker is going in the Hall of Fame this year, seen as though it's in Texas? Good question, Sammy G. Yeah, I could definitely. Yeah,
yes.
that does make sense, Sammy. Yeah, that definitely makes a lot of sense. It's in Texas. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's probably why he would be at WrestleMania. But they said, because I know like most WrestleManias, the WrestleManias that Undertaker didn't show up. I mean, sorry, didn't wrestle at. He was there backstage. They said he just comes, to the WrestleMania show. He just shows up. And I think the time that he actually beat John Cena, he was there backstage, and he just happened to have his gear, and he just like, I'm just go out there and do it. And he just went out there and do it. That match wasn't even booked. He just went out there and did it. So it makes sense. I think he may just, be there for the Hall of Fame. But yeah, that was just a, side note. But yeah. Yeah, I think he may be inducted, more than likely. They never even mentioned who would be the new inductees to the Hall of Fame yet. But but a lot of fans, I think fans will be upset about that too. They want to hold off on that as well because a lot of fans don't want Undertaker to retire yet. And Undertaker, he wants to hang it up. He wants to hang it up. His last match was with Roman Reigns. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It wasn't with Roman. It wasn't.
No, let me see. His last match was with.
It was Shane, right? It was Shane. Yeah, I think Roman. I think Undertaker last WrestleMania match was with Shane. I think. Let me see.
Oh no. It was AJ Styles.
Right, AJ Styles. It was, but AJ Styles.
It was the Dead Man's Boneyard match with AJ Styles. His last match was.
Yeah, wasn't a big fan of it. I thought it was.
It stinked. That's me thing.
Yeah.
It could have been better.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was definitely not a big fan.
It was gonna be a real match, like a one-on-one match.
Right.
Not like a boneyard match, like you want to bury someone alive.
Right. Yeah, I didn't think that either. I was like, oh, they did a whole cinematic thing, the camera rolling and had the whole little, backdrop, with the, them being at this, abandoned junkyard or whatever they fought. And, Undertaker said he was proud of that match, but I wasn't. I thought the match was there. D-Star says, it's true. Fans don't want Undertaker to retire, but did you not see his last couple of live matches in Saudi Arabia? I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying, okay, I'm gonna tell you my feelings, and Andrew, you can actually tell me how you feel about Undertaker as well and share your view as well. My view on Undertaker, as far as me being a fan of Undertaker, I thought Undertaker was a great superstar. I was definitely impressed. See, I was like there as a child when Undertaker debuted in WWE. Like I was there, and I was like, as a child, like I was like shocked and awed when Undertaker fought Hogan, and Undertaker fought Ultimate Warrior, and Undertaker took the belt off of Hogan. You know what I'm saying? And Ric Flair cheated and helped Undertaker get the belt. you know, and I'm laughing because I'm thinking about that funny meme that people were making when Undertaker tombstone Hogan on his neck on a chair, and he was like, that doesn't work for me, brother. So that whole thing, I thought that was just hilarious. But so long story short, I was there, you know what I'm saying? Like I was as a child, I was not there, but I was, when he premiered, I seen the whole Undertaker thing, and I was, when he fought Ultimate Warrior, and Ultimate Warrior zipped him up in a body bag, and he tombstoned Undertaker, and Undertaker kept getting up, and then he tombstoned him again, and Undertaker got up again. I was there for the whole thing, but I was never really a big Undertaker fan until the streak, until they really started to show how special that streak was. And then, they just ended it. And then after that, I kind of was like, I kind of really jumped more on the bandwagon of Undertaker when he was part of the streak. I wasn't really a big Undertaker fan, but I like Undertaker, but I wasn't a big Undertaker fan. But I think he definitely needs to hang it up, especially after he fought Brock, because when he fought Brock, he was actually supposed to win. He was not supposed to lose. He actually gave the match to Brock because he couldn't continue. He caught a concussion after the third F5 and hurt his hip. And he was like, just pin me. And that's what he told Brock. And he was like, just pin me. Just get it over with. And that was it. And he just let it, he gave it to Brock. And Brock was actually Undertaker's, go-to guy when Undertaker wanted to have somebody go over on him. Because if you guys don't know, I think it was only like 1 or 2 matches that Undertaker beat Brock, but he cheated to win. Undertaker never really wanted to go over on Brock Lesnar because that was his passing of the torch to Brock. Like, you're the new big guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wanted to solidify his dominance, because he really believed in Brock like that. But anyway, that's my thoughts on Undertaker. I think Undertaker, I think he needs to let it go. He's getting too old right now. What do you think, Andrew?
He is getting old, and I think he should take one more match to see if he still has it, and then retire. But I was there when Brock Lesnar broke Undertaker's streak.
Oh, so you was at that WrestleMania?
Yeah, and I was at SummerSlam when Brock Lesnar beat the living hell out of Randy Orton and broke his skull open with blood.
So what was your response? Because when he broke Undertaker's streak, I felt sick. Like, I felt sick to my stomach. I wasn't there, but I was just like, how could they do something like this? I was hurt. It took a lot out of me. The only thing that really, it was a good. The WrestleMania wound up carrying on to be pretty good because of Daniel Bryan's night that night. Mm-hmm. But that moment really took a lot out of that WrestleMania, even though it goes down as one of the most memorable WrestleManias. What was your reaction when that happened?
I dropped the big F-bomb of my life.
I think a lot of people, Andrew, dropped a whole lot of F-bombs around
my favorite
the world.
My favorite WrestleMania moment was I was sitting next to my sister's husband and my sister, and we went to Disney before and Universal before after WrestleMania, and I was sitting next to them, and some guy comes over to me, and he's like waving his hands and says, "Come next to this stand right here. You're gonna see a big moment you're never gonna see again." Hardy Boys out of nowhere, ladder match.
And that's when the Hardy Boys showed up.
Yeah, I could not believe it, and I have still has my feelings about Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy. Mm-hmm. Those are my 2 favorite big WWE superstars I would like to meet next.
Okay, so those are that's what your favorite tag team?
Yes, Hardy Boys, the Undisputed Era,
Mm-hmm.
CM Punk, and the I think it was CM Punk and or I meant Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre and the
Mm-hmm.
other people I like. I like Ziggler and Rude now.
Ziggler and Rude. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think Ziggler and Rude is pretty good. I think they need to give Bobby
Ziggler
Roode.
push.
I always felt like they need to give Ziggler a push all the time. There's never a better. I mean, you can give Ziggler a push anytime. I'll be happy. But I feel like Bobby Roode needs to get a push. They need
Oh
to
yeah,
give Bobby Roode a push.
they're giving Kevin Owens a push for no reason. There's a because he's getting a match that at WrestleMania for a last man standing match with Damian Priest with his new demon side.
Yeah. Oh, so Damien. Oh, okay. So Damian Priest is developing his new persona. Huh.
Yeah, he has a weird little look. He says, "Don't test me, or you're gonna get the Damien side."
Oh God,
What
here
the
we go.
heck does that mean?
Oh God.
Come
So
on, get out of here with
everybody
your
wants to be
Damien
Finn
side.
Balor.
Yeah,
All right. So Sammy G says, laugh out loud at D Star. Undertaker is a legend, but yeah, I hope he's in the Hall of Fame and calls it a day now. Yeah.
I thought there's a last year's WrestleMania in Tampa, the
Mhm.
Hall of Fame got canceled. I think it's gonna be Undertaker and Batista is gonna be in the Hall of Fame, but Batista didn't even get inducted yet.
Yeah, Batista didn't get inducted. His last match was with Triple H at that WrestleMania. They had a great match. I thought it was pretty good. Um, hold on a second. D Star says, speaking of tag teams, who are your favorite tag teams ever? I gotta say the Legion of Doom. The Legion of Doom. Anthony Cobb says, just got off work. What's up, Maine? What up? What up, Ant? Ant, you keep calling me Maine. It's the dream, baby. The dream.
The dream. I
I mean,
love the
sorry.
dream.
Okay, there we go. The dream, baby. It's the dream, baby.
My I think my favorite W superstar has
Yeah.
to be from NXT, Velveteen Dream.
Velveteen Dream. Yeah,
Yeah,
Velveteen Dream. Yeah, yeah.
I miss him. What happened to him?
Uh, some bad things happened to him, Andrew.
Oh God.
I'll tell you in a few moments. But let me just answer D Star. Let me get the D Star's question. So he says, speaking of tag teams, uh, he says, speaking of tag teams, he says, who's your favorite tag teams ever? He says you gotta say Legion of Doom. My favorite tag teams ever, favorite tag team ever, I should say, is uh Dudley Boys. Dudley Boys, favorite tag team. Dudley Boys. Um, besides the Dudley Boys, it would have to be Hall and Nash. Hall and Nash. Probably, yeah. My favorite tag teams, Hall and Nash. Um, yeah, my favorite Dudley Boys, Hall and Nash, The Rock and Jericho. Um, who else? I'll say RK Bro. Who else? Who else is my favorite tag team? Yeah, I'll definitely say those are my The Rock and Jericho. Those are my favorite pairings. I have other favorite pairings, but they were only like one shots, like The Rock and Austin. Um, Goldberg and Bret Hart. Um, let's see. All right. But yeah. So to get back to what you were saying, Andrew, uh, what happened to um what happened to Velveteen Dream? Yeah, so Velveteen Dream, unfortunately, was accused of inappropriate behavior with a minor uh, on Instagram, and he was investigated. And then they had to they investigated the situation. They found out that Velveteen Dream had nothing to do with it, but there was some accusations against him, and they kept him on a roster for about another year. They sent him up to the main roster where they showed him backstage briefly. He was supposed to wrestle on the main roster, but they decided not to keep him and they let him go. So yeah, it got pretty bad. Anthony Cobb says Raw was horrible. I woke up to Lita challenging Becky Lynch.
I know it was bad.
Yeah, Anthony Cobb says, I'm like, why did I wake up? It horrified me so much. I was scared to go back to sleep. I believe you, man. I believe you got old Lita, Lita doing her little old Lita flips. I like Lita. Lita was one of my favorites, but you know, they didn't cut so many people. I have some news too. I have some news as well. Um, Sammy G, do you think it's Roman versus Brock at Mania or Roman versus Bobby Who? Bobby Who?
Bobby
Uh,
Woo.
Bobby Who? So who do I think? I think it's gonna be Roman versus Brock Lesnar. They're gonna have that match, and then they're gonna separate it to it being Bobby versus somebody else. Now, if the issue, because right now what I heard was that right now they don't have any plans for Bobby Lashley to fight anybody. They don't have any plans for Bobby to fight anybody. So right now, what it's looking like is that they're trying to figure out who Bobby's going to fight. If they can't figure out who Bobby's going to fight, I definitely would say that it may be Brock versus Roman, title versus title, and they may just do the title versus title thing, which I think they shouldn't do. And because more than likely, Roman's going to go over. It's not going to be Brock because Brock already had the double titles when he beat John Cena for the unified titles. So it would be Roman that will be winning that match, I think. Um, but I think that's what the plans are going to be. But right now, backstage, they're trying to figure out who Bobby's going to fight at WrestleMania, and they don't know who. Anthony Cobb says my favorite tag team is New Age Outlaws. Yeah, they're one of my favorites too. I forgot about them, Ant. They're one of my favorites as well. New Age Outlaws. I definitely like them as well. They're one of my favorites too.
I think for WrestleMania, it's gonna be Bobby Lashley
Mm-hmm.
versus Big E
Mm-hmm.
versus Seth Rollins.
Hmm. You know what? That's pretty good, Andrew.
If it was,
it
I
makes,
think
but it
that
makes sense. Yeah,
it makes sense that because if Bobby Lashley doesn't lose the title in the Elimination Chamber to Brock,
yeah,
it's gonna be just a one-on-one clean match with Roman versus Brock.
yeah, yeah. And I think, honestly, I really think they should have a Roman versus Brock. Um, Simply because they need to put an end to this whole feud. They have to end the chapter. They have to end this thing. They have to get rid of this. I'm tired of seeing Roman and Brock. I'm not tired. Like, oh, I'm tired. But I just feel like they just need to end it. Like we need to have a conclusion to this story. I know eventually they're gonna fight again. But we don't need to keep running this as the main marquee match in our pay-per-views, especially for like another Royal Rumble or another SummerSlam or another WrestleMania, and to after a while until Roman and Brock have fought someone else. But because they've done so bad with booking, especially with them using the Fiend and them using Braun and them using other superstars in the main spotlight, you know they feel like they ran out of big superstars to book to have a big title match, that they now are just left with Brock and Roman. Now, if they would have built Finn Balor right, they could have had a good feud with Finn Balor and Roman. If they would have built Kevin right, you could have had a good feud with Roman and Kevin. If you would have built the match right or the feud right with Seth and Roman, you could have had Seth and Roman, at WrestleMania. I
They
don't. It
need a
doesn't have
ch-
to be right.
they
Right.
need a rematch for Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
isn't he saying Seth would have won if that douchebag didn't leave the guillotine on all the time in a
Mm-hmm.
match? Because if you see the match, the
Right.
referee is trying to lift up Seth Rollins' hand, and
Mm-hmm.
Seth Rollins' hand grabs the rope, and Roman doesn't let go, and
Right.
then he wins by DQ. That means Seth Rollins is a victory. That
Mm-hmm.
means Roman can't beat Seth.
Okay. So let's check this. Let's look into this. I'm gonna check this out.
Because Seth Rollins has beaten Roman Reigns multiple times, and Roman have not ever beat Seth Rollins.
Uh, yeah. So how many times did Seth Rollins beat Roman? I know he beat Roman for the title when he came
The
back from that leg injury. Um, but what I want to look at, what I want to look into. I just lost a thought. I got so distracted by news and rumors, I just lost a thought. Um, let's see, uh, let's see. Okay, but yeah, so Roman, yeah, so Seth, yes, I remember Seth beating Roman for the title. That was the pay per view. I forgot what pay per view it was, where all three members of the Shield held the WWE title in one night. Um, Seth beat Roman for the WWE title, and Dean Ambrose cashed in the Money in the Bank, and he won. Um, that I remember that match. I don't remember any other match they had.
they had one at it was before Dean Ambrose cashed in. He beat him on Raw. Uh, no, he beat him at WrestleMania 29 when Roman versus Brock.
Right, right.
Then after that one, he beat him at the uh, after he broke his leg. The
Mhm.
part two, he beat him.
Right.
Roman lost to Seth Rollins 3 times. This is his fourth time he lost the match to to Seth Rollins.
That's what. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, that's what I was looking up. I was looking up the results for the Royal Rumble, and I wanted to see how they declared that match.
Uh,
Uh, so I think
Disqualification and Seth Rollins' hand was on the rope, and Roman Reigns did not listen to the referee, and he lost the match because Roman lost by disqualification by not listening to the referee.
okay, because I thought they declared it a no contest when it
No,
went.
I heard they said disqualification. Seth Rollins wins by DQ.
He did. He did. He won. Seth Rollins defeats Roman Reigns via disqualification, allowing Reigns to retain the title. Jesus. That was a horrible finish. Yeah, I wanted to see a victor in that match.
I think that they should have a rematch,
Mhm.
and then I think it will be over the feud.
There's so much rich history in that match. I mean, sorry, in that feud. They were supposed to have a WrestleMania match. Remember some years ago before
Yeah,
before not Dean Ambrose before Seth Rollins broke his leg, and they were supposed to fight at WrestleMania, but then Seth Rollins he broke his leg because that's when Seth Rollins had the first WWE title.
he broke his leg during when he was facing
Kane,
uh Kane in a match.
right? And they were setting up a Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns match, and they were trying to set it up for WrestleMania because that was supposed to be the Royal Rumble because that same year, I'm sorry, that same year, Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble, but Brock had won the title. I forgot how he won the title. Brock won the title. He had the title. No. I'm bugging. I'm bugging. I'm bugging. I'm bugging. I'm bugging. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Seth had the title. Seth won the title. He broke his leg. They were setting up for Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. And then and then what happened was Seth Rollins was out on injury. Then they had like a whole tournament for the WWE title. Roman Reigns beat Dean Ambrose for the belt. Sheamus came out, cashed in his Money in the Bank, beat Roman for the belt, held the belt for about a month. I think it was like a month or 3 months, or 2 months or something like that. Um, Beat Sheamus on a Monday Night Raw, held the belt for about. Then Roman held the belt for about 2 3 months, and then Seth came back and beat Roman for the belt at I forgot which pay per view it was, and then Dean cashed in on
It was
Seth.
Money in the Bank.
Yeah, Money in the Bank. Right, Money in the Bank. There we go. Thank you.
Yeah,
It
my
was Money in the Bank.
favorite. I think my favorite moment of that match
Mhm.
was uh, Seth Rollins. jumping in the air after Roman tried to spear him, and he
Mhm.
gave Roman Reigns the pedigree for
Oh yeah,
Triple H.
yeah, I
He
remember
did
that.
that twice last night.
He did. He did. It was a great match. It was a great match. It was good. I liked it. I really enjoyed that match. That was a
I,
great match.
my favorite moment of that match was actually Seth Rollins' entrance to the match from the
Yeah,
Shield.
yeah,
And he broke the string. He
yeah.
scared the crap out of Roman Reigns, and he said, and Roman says, "Mother, what's Dean Ambrose back?"
That was great. It was very psychological. He wanted to play with Roman's mind. He did a great job at doing it. That was really good. Sammy G says, "Do you think it'll be Roman versus Rock next year at WrestleMania 2023? I'm sick of this Roman versus Brock." Um,
I think yes, and it should be Roman versus Rock versus Cena. This is the last match.
uh, I think Roman, because everybody's asking for it. Everybody wants it. That's the match that everybody wants. That's the dream match that everybody's looking for. Like, for me, I find we finally got Brock versus Bobby. They need to do another one because they need to declare a winner. But they may not do that. They may just play around with it and um, skate around with the whole Brock and Brock Lesnar thing. Brock Lesnar should not be in Elimination Chamber. I don't know why he's in it. They just need to put Brock Lesnar back on SmackDown and just leave
Because
him out of
Adam
the
Pierce
picture.
told him that he's in the match.
Yeah, but it's stupid because it's like he already has a match against Roman, and
Yeah.
it's like you already have a title match against Roman. So why would you be? I mean, Elimination Chamber, and then you know, I don't know how they're gonna do it with Brock, but if Brock walks out with the title, I'm gonna tell you honestly, if Brock walks out with the title, I'm gonna be pissed because I'm gonna feel like it's like why are we doing this? um, give that opportunity, leave that opportunity with Bobby Lashley. Present opportunities to other wrestlers. Other wrestlers need opportunities. Kevin Owens need opportunity. Dolph Ziggler needs opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Other people need opportunities. Not just Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is not the only person on the roster. Matt Riddle needs an opportunity. Uh, but Roman versus Rock next year. We need it. I think we definitely need it. I think it depends on the Rock schedule, Sammy G. To answer your question, it depends on the Rock's Hollywood schedule. Uh, this is what I think. I'm gonna tell you honestly. If Black Adam does well, I think it depends. It depends on the success of Black Adam. If Black Adam does well, whether it does good or bad, I think depends on whether The Rock will return. I think if Black Adam does well, which I believe it will be because he's put a lot of work into it, he's going to return. Um, I know he's fulfilled most of his movie obligations with with Disney. He signed a big contract with Disney about 7 years ago to do about 10 Disney films. So you got Manoa. Hopefully I pronounced it right. You have uh Jungle Cruise. You have that's two. Um he's done Race to Witch Mountain. So no, it was more than no. It was more than 7 years ago. It was about like 15 years ago, I think it was. I don't know if Race to Witch Mountain wasn't part of the obligation. But I think after he did Race to Witch Mountain, I think he did like maybe Race to Witch Mountain, and he did, I think that the what's it called, Tooth Fairy. He did like 2 or 3 Disney movies, and then he signed this big 10-year contract with them afterwards. Or maybe those movies are. But long story short, he has like a movie obligation. He's a contract movie obligation, and the issue was when he fought John Cena for the first time or second time. I believe second time. He caught a hernia, and I don't. You can look up the interview where The Rock talks about his time fighting this second time fighting John Cena, and he talks about he caught a hernia, and he said he was like literally pushing his guts back into his ribs. He said it was really bad. He caught a bad hernia, um, and so he said, next time when he fights a match for WWE, he wants to be careful and not necessarily careful, but he wants to really be selective about who he fights in. It has to really be worth it. But this is definitely worth it. Him coming back for Roman is worth it. Um, but do I think he's going to do next year? Hopefully. They were trying to book him for the last 2-3 years, and they couldn't get him. But hopefully he shows up for
I
this
just,
year. I mean for
I
next
just,
year.
I just found some breaking news that confirming now for 2023,
Mhm.
Jason Momoa is going to be in Fast and Furious 10 with John Cena.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's confirmed. He's doing he's doing Aquaman this year,
Yeah.
and then 2023, Jason Momoa, Vin Diesel, and John Cena are all going to be in Fast and Furious 10 and 11.
Why? Maybe it'll be a better. I don't know.
Doing the
I'm
entrance
not
in
a
the
I'm not a
WWE.
Fast and Furious fan. Um, I'm not a big Fast and Furious fan. Um, I'm not big on Fast and Furious. I can't stand it. Uh, before I get into Fast and Furious, uh, D Star says I think The Rock will be at Hollywood for Mania. Uh, he never fails. Um, he said he never fails. Um, it never fails to promote him. He never fails to promote himself, just like how Red Notice was promoted all over Survivor Series. Um, yeah, I think. I mean, well, it's possible. It's possible, but The Rock doesn't. And the thing about it is see, this is the thing about The Rock coming back to fight at WrestleMania. If The Rock comes back to fight at WrestleMania, he'll be doing WWE a favor, not himself. I mean, it's going to help his promotion of the movie, but does The Rock really need to go out and promote? The Rock is the highest paid actor in WWE right now. It's crazy. I'm happy to say that because he's my favorite wrestler of all time. But he's made it to the top. Like he's transcended way past WWE to the point where he could possibly buy out WWE if he wanted to, or even put a stake into buy out WWE as an investor. He has so much money right now. And I say that because not just because of the movies, because movie stars, are more than likely are financially stable. I mean, I'm sorry, financially well off, but he has his own production company. He's put out a few movies under his production company that has made money. So he's making money off of movies that he's put out himself. He's actually producing Black Adam. So The Rock doesn't need WWE at all. He doesn't need them. They need him. So The Rock coming back will be doing Vince a favor. And that's where it gets real tricky. So um so that's the issue. That's the issue is because if the Rock has the power, you know what I'm saying? So the Rock coming back to do it would just be solely because the Rock wants to promote and wants to assist WWE. And that's really why the Rock would be doing it. No other reason why. And help Roman. When he came and showed up at that Royal Rumble to help Roman, and even though he got booed, he couldn't save him. He did it for Roman. He did it for his family. You know, but I don't know if you guys know, but Roman and Jason Momoa are actually cousins. It's funny. They are part of the same Samoan bloodline. They look alike anyway. I mean, but they're actually related. They're actually related. I looked it up and found out they actually have relation to each other, which makes sense why. I mean, why Jason Momoa has some pull in Hollywood as well because of The Rock. The Rock, The Rock, he definitely looks out for his family. In the sense that he puts in good work. But beside that, Jason Momoa was a great actor anyway. But anyways, but yeah, that's just my point. Just want to land a plane there that The Rock really doesn't need WWE. WWE needs The Rock, and The Rock will be doing WWE a favor. So now that The Rock has all the cards, it's what's WWE going to do? Say, oh, hey, Rock, we're going to give you a big fat check. The Rock was like, I already have money. I can make money right now if I want to. I can make as much money as I want. The Rock has so much things going for himself. He has, the Under Armour line. He has, his own, energy drink. He has a production company where he's making movies. He's about to put out Black Adam, a superhero movie, and superhero movies right now are making so much money. But not only that, but he's putting out Black Adam, where the highest paid Hollywood actor, is starring in the role as a anti-superhero Superman like character. People are going to go see it. I'm going to go see it because I've been waiting for this movie for about 8 years since it's been in production. So just to land a plane there, it's about The Rock. If The Rock wants to show up, and that's the thing. And we want The Rock to show up, and it would be awesome if The Rock show up. But The Rock is that kind of guy that he wouldn't want to miss a moment like that, because The Rock is all about history. He's all about making history. He took up the challenge to have that match with Goldberg. He didn't turn it down. He's like, yeah, give me the match with Goldberg. He took up the match with Brock Lesnar. He was like, all right, you're going to push Brock Lesnar to be the next big thing. I'll take the match. Austin don't want to take it. I'll take it. The Rock is all about it. The Rock was like, oh, okay, you guys want a Rock versus Cena? I'll give you a Rock versus Cena. And he gave us a Rock versus Cena. He gave us 2 of them, even though I felt like it should have been 1. But he gave us 2. He did us the favor. And he came back and he gave us a Rock versus CM Punk. Even though CM Punk was mad and was, hating on it. But I'm like, Punk, like, you have an opportunity to go against The Rock. Like, it's like, that moment with you and The Rock is an opportunity. I understand, you've been here grinding and busting your hump in order to make it to the top, to be on the top. And you're mad that you had to drop the belt to The Rock. But it wasn't about you dropping the belt to The Rock. It was about your legacy. Like, you're one of the few wrestlers in that locker room, or one of the few wrestlers up and coming to ever say you can have a match with The Rock. How many people can say that? So there's a lot of people that would love to have a match with Undertaker, The Rock, Triple H. Not a lot of wrestlers got to have a match with Triple H, even though Triple H is there. You know what I'm saying? But there's very few wrestlers that actually had the opportunity to wrestle with these legends. And those are great opportunities, you know what I'm saying, that puts you in the history books with these great performers. But anyway, that's just my point. Just gonna leave it there. But yeah, news and rumors. I have some news and rumors real quick. So a rumor. So Nia Jax was actually offered by WWE to return at the Royal Rumble, and she turned it down. She said, "F no." She said she's not coming. She said no. She said she was actually relieved to be released by WWE, and she said no. She said she turned it down. She said the vibe backstage used to be like a family vibe. She said, but then after there were some changes in the company, the vibe changed and things were not the same as it used to be. So Nia Jax was actually, they wanted Nia Jax to come back at the Royal Rumble for a slate return, but she didn't return, unfortunately. What do you think about that, Andrew? Are you a Nia Jax fan?
No.
Yeah.
I think I did not like her attitude at all, but as I was more a big fan of Alexa Bliss than Nia Jax.
Okay.
Do you like the storyline with her doing that weird interviews with the the person in the room trying to fix her head?
Oh, with the psychiatrist.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I think it adds a great angle to her, a different dynamic to her character. It gives the ability to kind of stray away from the Bray character that was developed under Bray. Because she made a character that was like Bray Wyatt's character. Where she kind of like, but it wasn't like Bray, which was cool because people got mad at Alexa Bliss like as if she stole, Bray's gimmick, but she didn't really steal Bray's gimmick. I mean, in all honesty, Bray really stole Finn Balor's gimmick. he just went and turned into the Fiend. You had Bray Wyatt, and then he introduced you to this character called the Fiend. I mean, again, Finn Balor character was he came out as Finn Balor, and then when he needed to, he'll jump into go into his arsenal and pull out the demon to beat you. Which was his stronger persona. So so people were mad like she stole something original from Bray, and it was like you didn't really steal anything. And then when you look at Alexa Bliss's character, it wasn't really like Bray's character. She came off as a possessed character. She came off as possessed. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, she's, happy Alexa Bliss. And then all of a sudden she just gets possessed and turned into something else. Bray Wyatt, on the other hand, he's Bray Wyatt, but then he just comes and introduces you to a whole nother person. Versus Alexa Bliss, it's Alexa Bliss being possessed by a whole nother spirit. So it was just kind of similar but different.
I want to see a reunion with them.
Yeah, that'll be definitely cool. I definitely would like that. I definitely would have liked. It's just sad that they actually got rid of Bray. I don't know why. I don't know what was the purpose.
I know why. Because Bray Wyatt had a lot of mental problems up in his head, and they had to they didn't fire him or release him. They let him go to fix his issues with his head to get fixed before he returns to WWE.
Okay, so yeah, I definitely heard about the psychological issues that he was having. He was dealing with depression and some other personal things. I heard about that. There was also rumors that he had that had nothing to do with it. That's what they were saying, but I agree. I think it had something to do with it. They said he battled with depression. Sammy G says, "Do y'all remember the Nia Jax versus Charlotte match when they started slapping each other?"
Yes, I remember. That was.
Do you think that was the shoot?
She just slapped him so hard that Charlotte Flair got knocked out of the ring.
Oh, Sammy G, that was totally a shoot. That was a shoot 100%. No doubt about it. That was 100% shoot. If you watch it again, you see Nia Jax punching Charlotte in the face, like really punching her. Like that was a legitimate girl punch. Guys, they punch with actual, structure. Girls, when they punch, it's almost like they're trying to
I can't believe Nia Jax broke Becky Lynch's nose.
I don't know. Women punch, they swing their arms like they're swinging a stick, but there's no stick in their hand. So they punch like this. They punch down. Women punch down like this. Men punch like this, straight. Women punch like this. They have a weird way of punching.
Yeah.
Like they're chopping meat or something. I don't know. But that's how she punched in the face. She punched her like a girl. Like that was a real woman's jab to her face. And then, she grabbed her by the hair. You see how, like, when you watch the matches, right? It's like when they wrestle, you can see, the real, like intensity. Like you could tell when they wrestle, like you could tell, like, because when they jab each other, you could tell there's no real force behind it. But when you watch that match again, yeah, she really punched in the face. Like she really jabbed her. That was a real jab. What you gonna say, Andrew? Sorry.
I think I can't believe that Nia Jax broke Becky Lynch's nose.
Yeah.
And then she had to be out to be replacing her nose.
Well, now looking at Nia Jax, I can believe it. Nia Jax has always been a
angry woman.
Yeah. I wouldn't say angry. I just say she I think my thing is with Nia is that Nia loses her cool when it comes to certain moments. Like, and I feel like one thing that's bad, one thing that's horrible about how they don't create good opportunities for these great performers is that sometimes it can create resentment and create jealousy and create a lot of friction between performers that don't need to be created. And it leaves people scraping to reach for one spot, and the funny thing about it is it's not even about performance anymore. It's all about how much Vince McMahon likes you. It's not about how good you are as a wrestler anymore. It's about how much Vince McMahon just likes you as a person. You can get over with the fans, he don't, that brass ring. That's why, and it's funny because if you notice, he stopped saying the brass ring. He stopped saying, you guys got to get out there and perform and reach for that brass ring, because the brass ring disappeared years ago. The brass ring existed when you got over with fans. Vince McMahon pushed you. You know what I'm saying? But now he feels like, because he has so much power and so much sway, and WWE is a household name, and they've monopolized. Almost monopolized the wrestling industry, or pretty much stay at the top, that they can do whatever they want. So, he can fire whoever he wants, he can hire whoever he wants, and pretty much he's showing that. They're showing no one's exempt from being fired, especially how they fired Braun, Bray, and, as top stars, and how they have this great NXT roster be brought up to the main roster and just treated like complete jobbers, so I could definitely, so I think, in that type of space, it would take a person like Nia, who has the look as a performer, who has good in-ring ability. But and I feel like the reason why those moments happen was because of frustration. I think sometimes they were just accidents, but then other times it was just like you were just being careless. Like, I think you were being really careless. You got frustrated in the ring, and you really just went gun ho, and you broke this girl's nose off. And even with Charlotte, she really that was her just being completely unprofessional. Like, she really just swung for the fences when she was hitting Charlotte in the face. So, but I think it was I think that has to do with the issues with them backstage not getting the proper pushes, and her being frustrated with certain people being in certain positions that she feel like, it's like, yeah, why are they getting pushed, and and all of us here are not getting the same opportunities, and we're, putting our bodies on the line, every time there's a show.
I think my favorite match of all time, and the awesomeness happened, was Chris Jericho versus Edge at WrestleMania, and Edge speared Chris Jericho into the barricade. That was my favorite. And then my favorite awesome moment was Edge came out of nowhere after a neck injury and won the Royal Rumble match by 1. At number 1.
That was his last Royal Rumble win, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He won at the number 1 spot. So Shawn Michaels is the only person that did it, right?
Yeah. Now, if you actually look about this correctly, if Randy Orton should have won the match, he would have beat Stone Cold Steve Austin's elimination number.
Yeah. So if Randy Orton would have won, which I think if Randy Orton would have won a Royal Rumble, yeah, he would have broke. He would have tied. Well, he definitely would have broke. I think he would have broke Austin's Royal Rumble victories, because Royal Rumble. I'm sorry, Austin. His third, like, I think his first Royal Rumble win. He actually lost. No, I'm sorry, second Royal Rumble win. No. Was it second or first? I forgot which one, but he actually lost to Brett, and he cheated. But yeah. But all right, guys. I thank you guys for joining us for another edition of Wrestling Talks and Thoughts. I'll be signing off for tonight with my co-host Andrew, who came to join me. My special guest today, Mr. Andrew.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Mr. LaDuca.
I'll see you next time.
Yes, sir. So thank you guys for joining us for another edition of Wrestling Talks and Thoughts. If you're catching us live on Facebook, hit that like button, hit that share. Join us next time as we go live. If you're catching us live on Facebook, I'm sorry, on YouTube. I keep saying Facebook. YouTube. Give us a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Drop a comment in the comment section below so you can engage us in conversations about wrestling, talking about Monday Night Raw, NXT, AEW, whatever the topic is, and we will talk back to you and talk to you more about wrestling. Next time we'll be going live Thursday night to talk about AEW, and I'll be posting up in the Wrestling Talks and Thoughts group the next time we go live, so you can catch our live. We'll be going live Thursday night at 7:00. and you can catch us live as we talk about AEW and a little bit of NXT or what's going on in wrestling. So join us. Again, signing off. I'm your host, Saheem the Dream. And you're going to, signing off, Andrew. So just say bye to everybody.
Bye. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir. And thank you for joining us for Wrestling Talks and Thoughts. Peace.